we will have a special webinar on mobile website applications. For those of you that weren't on last week I mentioned that I had finally completed basically building you guys a custom app for mobile devices. So long story short, if you have a website through us, you will be getting your own mobile app next week. There's no cost. It's free. Myself and my team will be in touch with you probably early next week just to let you know that we're going to be setting it up. There's nothing you need to do, but obviously mobile websites are now, the higher end companies have them, so it makes sense to design that stuff for you. So that should help your websites, and I think it's pretty cool technology, and I'm certainly proud to offer it to you guys. So we will be doing a webinar next week just to demo that, how it works, how it was built. It actually took us about 8 months to build. It's nothing easy. Very complicated technology. As you know, these mobile devices are obviously changing and growing every day, so it's important to build something that can evolve with that. So anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about next week. I think that's one you probably want to definitely either attend or watch on YouTube. This week, guys, I want to kind of go through some good Facebook ideas with you. Try to help you get a little structure. I think one of the things I find, I get feedback after these webinars each week, and I think one of the things I'm finding is there's a real big difference in skill sets between the people on the webinars. Some of you guys are beginners, never used this stuff before ever. Some of you guys are intermediate, and others of you have been using Facebook and social media for in upwards of 7-8 years, and you're at that kind of expert level. And I think one of the things I've struggled with is, throughout the webinars, I kind of dip between, beginner tips and expert tips, and it makes it hard to kind of follow and certainly execute for your agency. So what I want to do is I kind of want to go over some basics and then take you through a really good game plan on how to grow your presence. So that being said, most of us understand at this point that the deal with social media is really, and specifically Facebook, the deal is that every person we're connected to, when we're posting something, it's showing up on their ticker, right? So, the consumer is out there, and most of the consumers are addicted to Facebook. They're looking at this ticker on their iPhone. They're looking at this ticker on their iPad. They're sitting here at work scrolling down. So, as a brand, as an agency, it's pretty simple what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to get people to, kind of take a look at us every day and see our logo, see our brand, right? And when they have a life event that is going to make them become a buyer or a need for one of our products, hopefully we've touched them with enough repetition for them to think of us, call us, and go through the normal, drill of becoming a referral. So my point is, guys, it's really, really important to understand that this ticker is where all the magic happens. And that when we're posting things, we want to make sure that it looks correct on this ticker. So before we kind of talk about that type of strategy, we need to get our post, right? And here's an example of an agency I'm a fan of. We got to make sure we can get our post on as many people's tickers as possible. That's the key to success. It's about getting that distribution because, as we know, guys, if we post something and somebody clicks that like, comment, or share button at the bottom, right, under each post, we see those. When people click those buttons, then our post goes to all of that person's friends, increasing our distribution. So one of the things, I think is a common mistake is, you guys come to my webinars or you go to, some sort of local association and they give you a webinar, and what happens is you get all pumped up from the webinar, but the circumstances, I guess my point is you're kind of looking at my page here where I got thousands of connections. I've spent years building this, years. And sometimes it's hard, it's not apples to apples, is my point. So what I want to do is give you a good kind of step-by-step process on how to, put yourself in a position to grow your presence, okay? Because I think the most important thing I've learned over the years is the order of operation is beyond important. And when you start skipping steps, it's going to be a ticket to failure, to be honest. So step one is, well, obviously step A is that you have a Facebook page for your agency. I'm pretty confident that all of you guys have that at this point. Step one really is, it's an illogical step. Step one is to actually post, okay, for at least 2 weeks straight before you even think about trying to get distribution. So just to review again, guys, on your Facebook page for your agency, there are 2 things to keep in mind, and there's 2 things that you do. One, you're trying to get as many people as possible to click this like button, right? This like button is your distribution. So you'll see I have 2,013 likes. That means every time I post something, it's going out to my 2,013 fans, right? So that's the first thing that can happen. You're trying to get this number to go up. The second thing that you do is you post, right? And as I mentioned 2 minutes ago, posting is really the key to exposure, because when you're posting, it's going on to all the people you're connected to's ticker. They see your logo, they see your post. It becomes what I call the farming effect, where you're constantly trying to plant seeds in people's minds that you can be an asset to them, that you can be their solution. Let's face it, guys, as I've always say, nobody ever impulsively buys insurance. I don't care what products you sell. It's not an impulse buy. It's not a Snickers bar at the grocery store. Something has to happen to somebody that makes them go, uh-oh, yeah, I need to get some protection. I need a plan. I need help for my company, whatever. And I think if we look at the statistics, in most cases, when people enter into an uncertain world, an uncertain realm, an uncertain purchasing spot, they tend to go to their friends and family and say, hey, look, I just started a company. I need some business liability insurance. I need some employee benefits. How does that all work? Who helps me? Right? They go to their friends and family. Well, social media is that now, guys. It's a lot of people gossiping and talking. It's friends and family talking. So my point is really the mindset you have to have is there's 2 things I'm doing. One, I got to get more people to click this like button, and I'm never going to be satisfied. I don't, so you get 100 fans. Well, you should want 200. Then you should want 500. So my point is this number should never stop going up. You always want to increase distribution. And then the other thing is to have that consistency of constantly putting out content on a consistent basis. And if you can do both of those, you will be successful. But what I was getting at here was that I find that most people, when they get started, they think, okay, the first step is to get as many people connected to me as possible, right? Why would I post if no one's going to see it? But on the flip side, I disagree with that. I think that it's important to have an active presence. It's important to have content on here, because then you can go market the page, and when you market the page, people are going to come to see it, and they're going to see it's active, and they're going to see it's valuable, and they're going to be more likely to click on the like button. Rather than if you market it and you haven't done anything, people are going to go, this guy's just starting, he's going to waste my time. So my point is you have to look at the Facebook page as a value added, and the posting is the value. And if there's no value there, people aren't going to see a reason to click the like button, right? So anyway, hopefully I didn't ramble on too much there. So step one is to post for about 2 weeks straight. Get that content on there, make the page look active. Then what you want to do is you want to go into your Facebook business page, and the first thing you'll see up in the upper right-hand corner is an area that says Build Audience, okay? And you want to click on, and I'm in the wrong area right here, of course, you want to click on the Invite Friends tab, where you can send them an internal Facebook message that asks them to become fans of the page. And you'll see it right here. All you do, it takes 2 seconds, is just go through and start clicking on these invite boxes, and it will send them an internal Facebook announcement saying, hey, look, Bob Smith invites you to become a fan of Smith Insurance. That's the easiest first thing to do. The thing that's a little bit more complicated is that I want to see you guys on a quarterly basis start to do external marketing. So most people say, well, what is external marketing, Ken? External marketing means something that's done outside of Facebook. When you're inviting friends, it's occurring on Facebook. I want to see you do marketing with email. Maybe if you're sending out some sort of thing in the actual mail. I don't know. Does people still do that? I'm sure you do. But my point is you need to promote the presence in other places. Maybe you're promoting it on LinkedIn. Maybe you're promoting it in your newsletter. Maybe you're promoting it on your website. There's different places I want to see you promote it so that you can get and tap into different people. That's the key. Certain people pay attention to certain things, and every good marketing company knows it's about diversifying a little bit. It's about doing things that other people may pay attention to. So the first thing you want to do is maybe write what I call the old pre-written message that just tells people, one, why they would want to become a fan. What do they get? And then two, how to become a fan. So here's a simple little one. Bob's Insurance is using Facebook to keep our clients up to date with insurance industry changes, fun ideas, and marketing tips. To become a fan, and again, you want to give them the address, facebook.com, Bob's Insurance, and then tell them, click on the like button in the middle right of the page to become a fan. And you want to put that in your newsletter, put it on your website. It's going to help you get more conversions. That's the key, and that's what separates the beginners from the experts. The beginners, I see it every day. Hey, go like my page. That's what they say. That's how they try to market it. The expert, he understands it's a process, that he has to have a value proposition, that you have to have call to action. So those are things you need to think about when you're doing that external marketing. I just helped a client the other day. They have a really nice newsletter that they send, I think, every 4 months, so 3 times a year, and it goes out to email, and it goes out in the mail to some really big business clients. And what they did this third of the year is the featured article was on the social media presence. They kind of said they did a good job because they said, hey, look, even though our agency is 100 years old, we're investing in ourselves. We're staying innovative. We're staying on top of things. And more importantly, we want to keep you as clients in the loop on what's going on in the industry. And, they said, hey, look, we have a beautiful Facebook page, a LinkedIn page, a Twitter page. Here's how you get there. And that was the featured thing in their newsletter. And, I've seen them increase their fans real quickly and increase their connections, really across the board because they put it together in a real elegant and professional way. And, again, that's the difference between the beginner and the expert. These are kind of steps, as I've mentioned. You want to make sure it's in the newsletter, on the website. More importantly, if you have a few employees, make sure they're educated on how it works. Make sure they know where the page is. Make sure they're administrators on the page so they can add people as well. Those little things become important with the big picture. And then I think once you get to that point, it becomes about consistency. And this is the thing that really, separates the guys who are successful from the guys that fail. Social media, for whatever reason, is just like going to the gym. It really is. How many people sign up for that gym membership on January 1st, and then by January 10th, they're still sleeping in their bed every morning? Social media is the same thing. And the reason I say it's the same thing is you don't see instant results. You guys know how it is. You go to the gym, you work your butt off for about 5 days straight, and what do you get? You get really sore, and you get really beat up. And do you lose any weight? Yeah, usually no, you don't. And you're kind of sitting there going, oh, yeah, I feel great, but I'm still overweight. Why am I doing this to myself? And it wears you down. And eventually, usually you give up. And social media is the same way because it's not, like I said, it's not about impulses, guys. It's about wearing people down. I call it the farming effect. We're planting seeds. And if we can touch enough people every day, all the time, the phone is going to ring more. It's going to. I mean, it goes back to the foundation of this insurance industry. I remember talking to my grandfather, who was in the industry, used to work for Mutual Benefit back in the day. I don't know if anyone remembers that company. And, he told me that, back in the 50s and 60s with life insurance, it was really simple. When you started in the business, they had you write down 20 people that you knew, and you had to call them. And then you called them, and you told them about the product, and then you asked that person for 5 more people that they knew and their phone numbers, and you got those 5 people. So 20 people turned into 100 people, which turned into whatever, 1,000 people. So my point, guys, is that's how the industry has always been. It's always been this numbers game, trying to get those numbers and try to get in front of people, and that's the same concept as Facebook. It's getting those numbers. You're not going to get 1 million leads the first day. If you do, good for you. But more likely than not, it's that long-term effect of just positioning yourself to be the specialist. If you believe in that and you're consistent, you will be successful.